oil is suctioned from the oil pan by means of the oil pump. The oil pump, right now I am going to explain how the oil pump works and how the oil pump sends it or suction the oil from the oil pump and circulate the oil internally in the block, lubricate crankshaft, camshaft, rocker arms, the head on top, and after that the oil return into the oil pump by gravity. Okay, the first step is the removal of the oil pan, and this is the oil pump. We are going to remove the oil pump carefully, and immediately you remove the oil pan. Be careful with the gasket. This is very, very important. You have access to the oil pump. That's the oil pump, and this is the strainer or filter, and this is the oil pump. This strainer, this is an important element, because what happens if this strainer is clogged? The circulation of the oil is not enough, and you have a lack of lubrication, and you have millions of problems internally on the engine. This is the oil pump, correct, this is the strainer. The oil is suctioned over there and enter in the pump. The pump internally have two gears. This is the driver gear on the shaft, the driver gear, and the other one with the dot is the driving gear. Correct. The driver gear. In the other side, the shaft of the driver gear. The shaft of the driver gear have a slot, and this slot, this channel, engage with the shaft of the distributor. In this moment, I am going to explain both scenarios. The gasoline engine, the oil pump for gasoline, and the oil pump for diesel. It's the same. It's the same function, the same operation. Okay, in this particular case, in this particular example, the oil pump engage the shaft of the driver gear have a slot, and the slot enter in the spring on the shaft of the distributor for gasoline engines. You see, like the picture, like the video, those elements engage one into the other one, and when the distributor is spinning, the oil pump is running and suction oil. And how the distributor is spinning? The distributor is spinning because if you check here, we have a gear, and that gear engage with the gear of the camshaft. The gear of the camshaft. Yes, if you see, okay, those gears engage one with the other one when the camshaft is move the distributor, and the distributor sends the spark. In gasoline engine. In diesel, when the camshaft is moving, the pump engage with this particular case. This is an example. This is a fuel injection pump, a rotary fuel injection pump. In some engines, you can install that pump vertical, and if the pump is vertical, the shaft of the pump, of the fuel injection pump, engage with the driver, with the shaft of the oil pump, and the oil pump suction the oil and circulate the oil internally in the block and the head, and the oil return into the oil pump by gravity. Okay, how often should we replace the oil pump? In each overhaul, the oil pump should be replaced. Or if you have problems of low pressure, and for example, you replace the bearings, you replace the gaskets, and the oil pump, the oil pressure continue low oil pressure. Probably the gears on the oil pump have too much play, and the pressure produced for the oil pump is not enough. For that reason, I recommend always in any type of reparation, replace the oil pump. No, I am going to rebuild the engine, but the oil pump looks good. No, my friend, replace the oil pump. It's not expensive. It's one of the elements less expensive in the reparation of the engine. Replace the oil pump always. Okay. In this video, okay, we have the bracket. This is the bracket. We remove the bracket where the dipstick is located in that bracket. Okay. In the same bracket, we bolted the filter, and you have the option to install, because normally in those brackets you have different holes to install oil pressure gauge like this. I recommend, if you are the engineer in a big boat, in a mega yacht, I recommend that install oil pressure gauge on the bracket where the oil filter is located. This is good for you because you enter in the engine room and you can check the oil pressure of the engine easily. Or other engine, they have the oil pressure incorporated in the control box, like the picture that you have on the screen right now. This is good. That's your decision. If you want another oil pressure gauge, I love it. Install that oil pressure gauge in the bracket, because this is the maximum pressure produced on the engine is located in that point. This is the situation. The oil pass through the cavities, those cavities, and circulate internally. In this moment, exactly the same pass in the plain bearings for the camshaft. The oil enter over there, and you have lubrication in all the plain bearings. Yes, my friends, because the oil, you see, the oil penetrate those holes and produce the film of oil in between the crankshaft or camshaft and the bearing. And this is the pressure that you read in the oil pressure gauge. For that reason, the quality of the bearings should be the appropriated quality. The quality of the bearings should be perfect, and the tolerance in between the bearings and the crankshaft or camshaft should be according with the manufacturer specifications. If not, the oil pressure is not the appropriated. Look, the oil from the block of the engine enter in that hole. This is the lifter, and the lifter have a hole on top. If you see that hole on top, the oil penetrate in the side, pass here, and enter in the push rod. The push rod is hollow. Exactly. This is the push rod and it's hollow. Okay, now the oil pass through the lifter, enter into the push rod, and the oil at the end pass through the rocker arms and lubricate all the rocker arms, and for gravity now go down into the oil pump. This is the path of the oil. Let me show to you what happened internally in the engine when the engine is running. Look, in this moment the engine is running and the lubrication starts here because the push rod, this is the push rod. Okay, if you see right now the oil is coming. And the oil penetrate this element, the train of rocker arm. Look at the lubrication, This is a perfect lubrication. The engine is running because the oil is coming from the bottom, lifters, goes up and circulate here, and right now the train is perfect lubricated. My friend, I like this video. This is a perfect explanation about the circulation of the oil. Okay, the oil in the bottom, in the oil pan, you have the oil, and the oil pass through the strainer. This is the strainer. The oil continue in. This is the oil pump. The oil pump that we disassembly a couple of minutes, and the oil continue and penetrate to the crankshaft and camshaft, and penetrate and also pass internally through the connecting rods. The majority of the diesel engine, the connecting rods are hollow, and the oil pass internally. And additionally, there are oil jets, and the oil jets spray the oil in the bottom of the piston. But you remember that the piston have the oil controller rings and the oil return. The oil controller rings and the oil return. And other amount of oil goes through the push rods and lifters, goes out and return in the bottom for gravity. Return for gravity. And here the oil return. This is the explanation about the path of the oil.